I'd like to start this video out by talking about a childhood memory of mine, which is once removed because it's a story that I remember being told by a friend that I had when I was younger. This friend reported that when he was in seventh grade, he knew a guy who in his class who was an exchange student from Greece. And one day he asked, because he had the typical sort of interest of a 13-year-old boy, which included knowledge of profanity. So he asked this kid if he knew any bad words in Greek, and the kid told him a bad word in Greek is malaka. And when my friend asked what that meant, the boy replied, "It is a boy who chases girls." So I looked up, I became curious about this word malaka. I looked it up, and to my surprise, malaka means something like wanker. It's an insult that means roughly the same thing as wanker, but the origin of it, the derivation of it, apparently comes from a word that means soft or effeminate, not manly. So it's interesting that I don't know if this kid, this seventh grader that my friend knew, who was a Greek exchange student, I don't know if he was just given like a sort of candy-coated definition of the word, but a boy who chased, I guess, just being girl crazy might have somewhat of the same meaning as being a masturbator. But in effect, it's in what the kind of picture it puts into one's mind, it's entirely different. And so it's interesting that that it's apparently in some acknowledged traditional culture, the notion of chasing girls, if you're a boy, is recognized for being what it is, being unmanly, being undignified, and that it's even so bad as to be a cuss word, as to be an insult, something worse than an insult. It's not like, it's more because it was again reported to be something along the lines of profanity, which is more than just saying, "Oh, you're a jerk," or "you're a schmuck," or something like that. So why am I talking about this? Well, I do believe that there is something certainly unmanly about chasing women, and I've come around to see things this way because I guess after breaking through the malarkey of my programming for a while now. I a little while ago talked about the whole, in a video that I called The Folly of Cold Approaching. I talked about how so-called pickup artist types or dating coach types would say, "Oh, well, you got to do the cold approach. You got to just walk up to a woman and shoot your shot." And how that entire notion was so hideously, awfully off the mark as far as everything. It's not going to. It doesn't help anything. It doesn't help your own self-esteem, because you're just going to be embarrassed. You're going to be shot down more often than not. Much more often than not, unless you're, and maybe unless you're incredibly good looking, in which case you probably don't have to resort to such tactics because they probably come to you. So I'm expanding this what I had been previously talking about in that last video about the cold approach, and I'm expanding it to chasing generally. I think that taking part in any kind of chase, anything that could be construed as a chase, is unmanly. It's beneath you. It's undignified. I heard somebody say, and this, I liked the sound of this dictum, if you will. Although I don't know if he invented it himself, but he said, "Don't chase, attract." Now, I don't know what the how you set out to attract, and I don't care. I don't care to attract. I don't care to chase. I care to chase even less. But I mean, if you're just doing your thing, being yourself, and that is something that is found to be attractive and makes them come to you, then I guess that's just what happens. But I would say be dignified, be yourself, be authentic. I've heard people poo-poo authenticity lately, which I mean, I don't know. You want to just go around just changing to suit the whims of whatever your situation is, and to have no real core, to have no real center. Is that really what your thing is? I don't think that's any way to be either. But what am I really saying here? I am saying that, beyond the mere cold approach, I think any kind of approach, if you're a man, is unseemly. I think you should just simply behave as if you're okay on your own, and you should be okay being on your own. And if something happens, if you happen to be approached because somebody kind of digs your style or whatever, or likes you, or sees you as a high value man, then that's fine. And if that goes somewhere, and if she turns out to be a good, trustworthy, worthwhile person, then great, But the whole point is, you have to become okay, just being on your own, being, whether you're satisfied with it or not, whether you secretly yearn for companionship or not, you have to train yourself to be okay being on your own. And you have to train yourself being okay with the whole notion that perhaps for the rest of your life, you're going to be on your own. You have to wake up in the morning and think to yourself, I'm on my own now, and I'm likely to be on my own until the day that I die. And not only am I okay with that, I'm good with that. Now, how do you inhabit that mindset? Well, those who listened to my interview with Nama Cates may remember that we talked about Stoicism, and she offered the insight that being Stoic starts with what could be called frame, I guess. I hate to use the term that the pickup artists like to use, but I'm using it for my own, adapting it for my own purposes. You have to embody this, and before you actually feel it. Even if inside you're feeling turmoil, even if inside you feel deeply lonely and unfulfilled, You have to train yourself to simply be self-sufficient. Be, I had this thing, this mantra that I made up when I was younger. I am all I need. I am all I need. I am all I need. And I think in my silly way, I was sort of, it was a little pretentious, but in my silly way, I was sort of grasping for this ideal that I'm speaking of now. So it doesn't really matter, if deep down you're lonely, if you feel desperate. We all feel lonely. We all feel desperate. That we're, if we're going to be honest with ourselves, we will admit that we feel those things. But we have to put a lid on that. We can be honest with ourselves, and that loneliness and that desperation we can allow it to push us to strive to do certain things that are healthy and that are good and that add to our overall spiritual well-being and to our dignity. We have to fight against the aspect of ourselves that would use the energy that comes out of that desperation and that loneliness to behave pathetically, to behave in a way that is unworthy of ourselves, to behave in a way that by which we abase ourselves, to become a malaka. We've got to avoid becoming a malaka, a boy who chases girls. So this is really, I think, where it's at. And this is my counsel. This is my advice. Take it or leave it. I know I'm a deeply flawed individual, and some of you might be thinking, well, you're really one to give advice, Nowicki. Yeah, I get that. I understand that. And if you don't dig what I'm saying, then move on, I guess, and do what you want to do. But as for me, this is my philosophy. This is my framework. This is my approach. It's not a way. It's different from don't chase, attract, because I'm not setting out to attract anybody, and I don't think I am I would be very surprised if I were attracting anybody, and if I were attracting anybody, it would really be by default, more than anything else. I think there's something in the don't chase, attract notion that's still kind of like, that still, embodies the spirit of the malaka, except that in this way, you become, you chase by simply, exuding attractive traits. And I'm not saying to go around trying to exude attractive traits. I mean, maybe self-sufficiency and dignity and aloofness is, I don't know, maybe those would be, maybe some women would find those traits attractive, but I doubt that they would with me. They probably would if it was with somebody else, somebody who, was handsome. But but I'm saying go beyond the mere don't chase, attract. With all due respect to the person who said who coined that phrase, if he coined it, and who might be watching this. Don't set out. It's not just, okay. What I'm saying is going beyond don't chase. Obviously, don't chase. chasing is pathetic. Chasing is abasing. Hey, that rhymes. That's a good one. I'm going to stick with that one. Chasing is self-abasing. You're making an idiot of yourself. But I don't know. Go sitting back, trying to radiate this allure. That's also kind of silly, too, and in a way that's its own more subtle form of chasing. I say, don't chase. Don't set out to attract. Just behave as if this is it. You are it. You will be. It will be you and only you for the rest of your time on Earth, and live that way. And get used to that, and eventually it will inhabit your consciousness, and you will become content with it. This is the very nature of the Stoical perspective, the Stoical approach, which is not any kind of approach at all. It's the very opposite of the cold approach, or the chase, or even the attempt to attract. It's really being self-sufficient. It's really being cold-bloodedly aloof, and being okay with it. So that's my advice. Take it or leave it. Thanks for watching. My name's Andy Nowicki. You can follow my work at altrightnovelist.com.